Thank you very much, Representative Kennedy and Auditor Dougal and Tia and the PTA. To my knowledge, this is the very first time there's ever been a state school board debate in the history of Utah, which I think is like utterly awesome. Joel Coleman, who's the acting superintendent, even came down to check it out. He was so excited. I mean, the number of people who know the difference between the state school board and the local school board, I mean, is too small. And so you are actually going to know the difference between the two. Please go back and share that with your friends and your family. Some things are decided at the local level. Some things are decided at the state level. I personally think too many things are decided at the state level. I think Salt Lake City is quickly becoming something similar to Washington, D.C. We had a governor who was a local Utah County commissioner. He's moved to Salt Lake. It's kind of hard up in Salt Lake. You get a lot of power, you get a lot of influence, you get a lot of money. You raise a lot of money. It's hard to remember what you are and what you stand for. There are some things here, though, down at the local level, which is where I love to serve, that we hear from our neighbors. We see what's happening with our kids, and we're just not happy. And we need to voice that through the candidates we elect at the local level, the people who will stay in touch and listen to what you have to do. I believe, I guess my general philosophy about education is parents. I think parents know what's best. I think the main goal for me as a member of the State Board of Education is to remove the barriers from parents deciding what's best for their kids. And also giving parents as many options as possible to what they can do to improve their education for their kids. I mean, if you remember nothing else from what I'm going to say in this speech, remember this. Governor Herbert asked me in July, Joel, what grade would you give public education in the state of Utah? I looked him in the eye, I said, Governor, I'd give it a C+. And that's only because we're not getting worse. I think we have got to do better. These are our children, and I love the opening prayer that was given. They are our stewardship. This matters. I mean, yeah, things like roads and bonding and the war in Iraq, they're important. But I really think the education of our kids is the absolute most important thing that we're doing right now. I'm an independent voice. I've been very involved in our community. Been on the District Community Council, which is what serves just below the school board. I was appointed by Wendy Hart. I am serving over Lone Peak, Cedar Ridge, and Deerfield the last 3 years. I know our local public education. Also volunteered at Lincoln Academy Charter School. I'm also an attorney where I specialize in public education. I've worked with about 60 different charter schools, firms with 20 different school districts. I know public education. I know what works. I know how we need to get better. Most important, I need to hear from you. I will be a different school board member, that I will listen to you. I will send you an email from every single meeting. I want your feedback. Thanks.
I can tell that Joel's a lawyer because of the standing in the courtroom. That's awesome. Anyway, I'm Heather Groom, and I'm actually currently serving on the State Board of Education. I was appointed to fill a vacancy about 1.5 years ago. I was selected by the governor and then sent to the Senate for a Senate confirmation hearing and then vote. Most people don't understand that process, and the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I feel that process is important. And with that, I know I wanted to address a very delicate subject just in my opening remarks. And as many of you, most of you actually, know, I was very concerned about this debate. And I want to be very clear. I've been in very tough situations. And I was actually very much looking forward to this debate because I really admire Joel and Joylin. Actually, I consider them friends. And, I've been on the other side when process has not been considered. And I don't believe that there was any malintent. And actually, I had a lovely conversation with Mike Kennedy, Representative Kennedy, this morning about this. And anyway, I just wanted to say, I know some of you even in this room have been on the other side with me when process has been ignored. And I know many people in the anti-Common Core movement have been very upset about that because they felt process was ignored when new standards were adopted. And I've always been very respectful of that. And I feel like we just need to make sure that everyone feels safe. And that's really what my point was. I had hoped that every candidate would feel safe and appreciated tonight. And I think so far, actually, the debate has gone very well. With that, I just want to tell you a little bit more about my background. I've served in a variety of schools, whether it's charter schools. I was involved with Renaissance Academy 10 years ago. I also have served in district schools. I've helped set up take-home libraries. I've also done many things with online schools as well. I feel like it's important to have options, and we need to know what's working, and also have options for our kids, because ultimately, really right now, going forward, I think that's actually one of the most critical issues, is knowing how to best educate our kids, and really it's at a singular level. And what I mean by that is it's at a very personal and per child level. And so many people have asked me, why are you running? And truthfully, it's because I feel I can make a difference. In fact, I feel like I already have made a difference in the past year by trying to be inclusive. I've met with the legislature and listened to their concerns. I've listened to the UEA, I've listened to PTA, I've listened to the anti-Common Cores. In fact, I even agree with a lot of your points. And so I want to be very clear that in order to actually get something accomplished and to move the needle, we need to be more focused on doing rather than just sound bites. So thank you, that's my opening statement.
Hi, I'm Joylin Lincoln, and I just experienced the longest 3 minutes of my life while Heather spoke, and now I get the shortest 3 minutes of my life while I speak. I'm the new kid on the block. Politically speaking, I've never run for office, and I've never held an office. However, I have been involved in education my whole life. I hold a current elementary education license. I am taught in Alpine School District for 3 years, and I've consulted in traditional and charter schools. I am a mom of 6 kids, and I believe that education is not one size fits all. And I don't only believe it, but I walk that walk. There was one year where my children attended 4 different schools as I looked for the best fit for each one of them. I am committed to the education. I believe that we can reduce spending in education, and we can do it by having items on a budget, not have developed an inheritance. Just because an item was spent several years ago shouldn't mean it gets to take up space forever on the budget. That we need to continually renew and look at programs and make sure that they're still benefiting our students. We need to look at spending above and below the line and quit tying hands to educators through program spending. And most importantly, I believe in local decision making. I believe that decisions should be made closest to the students. And we need to quit tying teachers' hands through law and rule and not allowing them to do what they know how to do best. And I am so excited to be here tonight and very nervous.